Knitworthy, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks. Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of the Knitworthy Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 16th, 2014, and I'm Brianne, also known as Being Brianne, and this is my gorgeous mother.
Hello, I'm Linda, also known as Stony Brook.
Yes, and you can find us as those names on Ravelry and Instagram. And we are coming to you today from the beautiful Ozarks of Missouri, and it is a beautiful day out there today.
Oh my goodness, it's cooled down.
It has. I mean, it's this morning I was taking my son out for physical therapy, and it was like 65 degrees out. I almost didn't know what to do with myself. It was a little bit crazy.
That's wonderful.
I'm totally not complaining though.
We like that kind of crazy, don't we?
We do. We love that kind of crazy. Like 75 as the high for the day in Missouri in July. I will take that. Yeah. That is good.
It is good.
Yeah. So, Mom, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the famous Clapo tee.
Yes.
You can see a beautiful, what do we call this, bias knitting? That's the back side. Mm-hmm. And this is some beautiful silk. It's a present from the gorgeous Brianne. This was the first time I think I ever saw the Clapo tee.
I think so.
And I tried to knit one afterwards, and I ended up giving it away. I don't know if I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I knit it out of a hairy wool. It was a beautiful yarn, but it was hairy, and so can you imagine dropping stitches?
Ooh.
Long rows of stitches when you've got all these hairs intertangling. And I just decided after I'd gone to all the work, it was a little bit itchy on my neck. And I didn't care for it.
That's painful.
Yeah, so it got given to, I think it got given to the local, it's called Christian Action Ministries, which is a thrift store that benefits people that have tragedy in their life of some sort. They need assistance for their homes and their children and families. So it made me feel good to give it away, but not as successful of a knit as far as my satisfaction level.
You know, that is kind of similar to my story with that, because that's a 100% silk yarn, and it was beautiful. But I had to actually go row by row to unravel that one,
to drop those stitches.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I was about halfway through knitting it, and I was pregnant with my second child, and I'm like, I am knitting a scarf out of 100% silk. What am I thinking? I am crazy. This will not be a smart thing for me. So I ended up giving it to you for Christmas.
Yes, and I have worn it quite a lot.
You have.
But I have to say that I finally decided to put all of my scarves on those hangers with the clips.
Yeah.
That are usually made for skirts and stuff like that.
So smart.
And they're hanging in a section of my closet, and now I can actually find them.
That's good.
And they're not like mangled when I go to get them. So it's like this was underneath something. I thought, oh my goodness, my silk scarf. So
there you go.
I'm looking here in the screen and thinking, I should have probably adjusted that a little bit. That's all right.
It's all right.
But I love
it's just our friends who are watching.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming by.
That's right. We're so glad you're here. So I am wearing my I'm like really fresh off the needles Mendocino shawl that I knit for Project 2 of Camp Loopy. And I will talk more about this in our finished object segment.
You look stunning.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous with your gray shirt, and it's got hints of blue in it. I'm just loving it on you.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, it's time to talk about gooseberries. Our tasty chit chat.
Alrighty.
So, Mom, what do you have for gooseberries this week?
Well, let's see. What did I put down for gooseberries? So many things, actually.
Okay, hold on. Before we do this, you have to know, at this point, we have like no internet at our house and have not had it for days. So I don't actually know when this is going to be. I'm going to be able to get this uploaded to YouTube or Podcast Garden or the website or anything. We're praying that hopefully very soon we'll end up with internet at the house, but we're just having some conflicts with with the internet world. But anyways, so all this to tell you that we don't have Mom's iPad to look at our notes on, or we don't have my iPad mini to look at our notes on. We have this iPhone 5.
Teeny tiny screen.
Teeny tiny. So if we look down a lot and they're like this, now you know why. It's not like we're just having to squint to look at our screen. So anyways.
Yeah, and it was like a little surprising when I looked down there and saw, it's farther away too, which is great for me.
Yes.
Well, I had a wonderful surprise come in the mail this week. Mm-hmm. And it is from Sue, who is Crafty Knitter 7. And I watch her on Two Tangled Skeins. She's on YouTube with several of her friends. And she had posted, I think it was on Instagram, that she was making these beautiful stitch markers.
Yes.
Let's see, how can I get them to show lovely for you? Isn't it beautiful? And this beautiful burgundy red color. Mm-hmm. It doesn't show as well on the plastic, of course, but I'm telling you, these kinds of I already told you how much I love those clip, plastic, safety clip types of markers because they are very handy. But these are lovely when you're doing a project with small yarn, like, fingering or even lace weight, and you're doing a pattern of some sort. These kinds of stitch markers are really easy to move over and don't interfere with your pattern at all.
Yes. Well, what happened was she posted a picture, Sue did, on Instagram, and I said, those are my favorite kind of stitch markers.
Oh, did you?
And she said, send me your address and I'll send some to you. And so she ended up sending some to you too. And that was so kind, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
I had maybe 4 left in my Notions case, and so I was so happy to get them in the mail because it was great. And she even went to the effort of going onto our Ravelry profiles and seeing what our favorite colors were. So she sent Mom red and she sent me blue.
Yes. So I'm thinking this is the kind of stitch marker I'd want to put in one of those stitch marker holders from Chicken Soup Designs.
Oh, that's a great idea.
She makes the little that's all I need. Picking up the stitch markers.
Oh gosh.
But she makes little stitch marker pouches.
Yes, she does.
That are about this size. Have a little snap on. It'd be perfect for the special markers.
That's a great idea.
So that's what I'm gonna put mine.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, my gooseberry for this week was yesterday. For those of you who are new to our show, which we are only 9 episodes in, so probably a lot of you are new. My son in June of 2012 was diagnosed with lymphoma, which is a type of cancer. And so he's been going through treatment and we're almost done. We'll be done October 8th is our big day that will be finished. And so yesterday we were in St. Louis, which is about a 500-mile round trip for us. So we decided to go up Monday because we had an 8:30 appointment on Tuesday morning, and I do not drive at 4 o'clock in the morning. I've tried it. It's scary. It was scary, it was not good. So we just decided it's better if we just spend the night before. And I had posted a picture of Owen and I on Instagram hanging out in our hotel room, and you will not believe what happened. So
I haven't heard this. Tell me what happened.
No, Sarah, who is Mrs. Shoe on Ravelry and who's a part of the Innocent podcast, sent me a message and she goes, I'm in Springfield, Illinois, and that is not that far away. Do you have time for me to come and meet with you if you need a knitting thing? I know. It was so sweet.
Goodness.
And if we had been there any longer, I think we totally would have done it. Because, confession, it is really lonely when you are there and, being, if you're there for long periods of time.
It's lots of waiting.
In
between procedures.
Yes. And so it's lonely, and it's not, they try to make it a good experience, but, there's only so many ways that you can cheer up cancer.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it really meant so much to me that Sarah was so thoughtful and so kind and offering to come up and be with us.
Sure.
And to hang out with me and do some knitting. And Sarah.
That is so sweet.
I know. It was so thoughtful. And Sarah, if ever we are up there for a longer period of time, I am totally going to take you up on that offer, because I would love to be able to meet you, because you guys are so fun and I love your podcast. So that's my gooseberries for the week.
That is a wonderful gooseberry.
The kindness of knitters knows no bounds.
And gooseberries are those little treats along the week, and that was definitely a treat.
It was. It made me so happy. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to share, I have one thing that I'm knitting right now, and it's nothing terribly exciting. It's just the thing I've been, besides the Mendocino that I've been working on, is the Lena sock. And Dawn from Wolf Farms.
Yes.
And hot pink socks, and a couple of other people were going to knit this along with me, because it's a fun pattern.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When did we know this?
We talked about it last week. Dawn and I did.
Oh,
yeah.
What a neat idea.
Yeah. But we're having, last week there was the drama about my brain not being able to figure out the pattern, and Dawn was having some issues too, so we kind of talked about it, and I'm not sure if she's decided to continue with hers. I'm gonna continue with mine, but we've figured out that there's really no possible way for you to have a smooth transition between the heel and the foot, where you end up with the stitches coming around smoothly.
Really?
Yes. And so
how is it written to do it in the pattern?
It just it isn't. The stitch counts are off, and it just, anyways, it's a long thing.
So is it something that you would just do on the cuff or on the top of a sock, as opposed to trying to carry it down into the foot?
Well, this is the foot right here, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is I will probably continue it up the front of the leg, and in the back just do stockinette. So I do a lot of this. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. But it clarifies things very well.
Does it really?
It really does.
Okay, well, I will continue to do that. I just noticed that. So weird. Little quirks. But anyway, so I think that's what I'm going to do.
Anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
1, 2, 3.
No!
So yeah, I'm going to be hitting the heel probably later this week, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm kind of getting the itch to cast on something else.
Are you?
I am.
So when you said the stitch count doesn't match up, are you saying that if you try to do it totally in the round, it doesn't match up?
Well, for example, she has you cast on 32 stitches, and the chart for the front is 33 stitches.
Okay,
and
so
things like that.
If you did 33 stitches, so that'd be a 66 inch sock around.
Our math skills are scary.
3 plus 3.
And not like scary good.
God made calculators for a reason.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But so could you just do it above the heel is what I'm saying. Is that something that would work out?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'd have to figure it out. But it's
really the heel that's complicating it, or is it the fact that the front and backs aren't going to match?
It's the fact that the front and the backs aren't going to match. I know, and I'm kind of a matchy person. Like, I'm the kind of person that I really want my striped socks to match,
Can I just say, what if you did a stockinette side panel, a stockinette bar on either side as a decorative feature, and just have your Lena sock pattern in the center and the back center?
Well, that's essentially what would happen anyways.
And does that bother you? Because it could just look beautiful. What if you put...
Yeah, it would bother me.
What if you put a pearl line... So I'm going to fix this for you.
Okay.
What if you put a line of pearls to end the pattern section, and then have like the sides would be pearl, knit, knit, pearl. And then you'd have 2 lines and a single... It would look like a design feature.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Okay. That's a possibility.
You think about it.
I will think about it.
What if it's fantastic?
Who knows? It could be. I don't know.
And it would give you a little rest. I'm pitching this now.
Okay.
It'll give you a little rest in between those pattern rows.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working on. And I'm not in any huge rush to get it finished. But so yeah.
that's probably something you want to put in Ravelry when you do get done.
Definitely.
You'll want to put a heads up to somebody who might buy that pattern to let them know that there's a few little issues and what you did about it.
Yeah. You know, because lately, for some reason, I have really been into knitting patterns that are basically unfound and untested.
Well, you're test knitting them, right?
I am. Well, not officially, but kind of. I mean,
it's by chance you were test knitting them.
Exactly. Now, I did want to do one thing, if you don't mind.
Oh, I care. I'm here with the rest of you.
Yeah.
I have no clue what she's going to do.
Who knows? Casey Andrew on Ravelry asked a question, asked a favor.
Casey?
What?
Our Casey?
Yeah, Casey Andrew.
Wow, okay.
Not like Casey, one of the founders of Ravelry.
Oh, okay.
That's a different person. This is Casey Andrew.
She's name dropping. You're so fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, Casey Andrew.
Casey Andrew.
On the question.
Yeah, on the chit chat thread, he asked if he could see me knit because I do funky things when I knit. I, for some reason, the way that I knit, I don't wrap the yarn around my fingers. I hold it like this. So I guess that's kind of a little bit wrapping. So here I hold it like this.
Turn your hand so they can see the inside of your hand also.
Like this, okay? And so I wrap, and then I drop the stitch apparently. But when I get going, then I use my left needle to help move the stitch. So my left and my right hands are both moving at the same time, and my left hand is basically helping to guide the stitch off of that needle and onto the right needle.
You totally lost me, but why don't you just put it higher so that they can see it, because you're kind of disappearing.
Okay, I don't want to do that. Let me get that back on there. I wonder if it would help if I stand.
Oh, it might be too high then.
It's just kind of at an awkward angle.
So I know that she pinches the yarn with these two fingers.
I do. And I move my stitches are really kind of scrunched on that left needle. And some people will tell you not to do that, and I don't listen to them because that's the way I like to do it.
So she pinches, but when she releases it, where is the yarn? When she releases it, she puts her finger under it. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So she's holding it like this until she gets near the top, and then she's doing that to put it over.
Right. So anyway, so this is just a little close-up of how I knit, and I'm dropping a lot of stitches. I feel self-conscious.
Did you learn this from anybody, or is
No.
this just a way that you kind of came up with?
It's just kind of, I think, the way I adapted knitting to make it more comfortable for myself and a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. Not that you can tell right now because I feel under pressure. Under pressure. No. So yeah, so that's how I knit. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm sorry I'm not doing as great a job. I do it a lot better when I'm not actually thinking about it. So yeah, so there you go. That's one little knitted thing for you, Casey Andrew. I hope that helped, that answered your question. So
it reminds me, it's not really cottage knitting, but it has some reminiscent aspects to it for me. But I would like to say that Stony Brook asked me how I knit.
Yeah.
And I wanted to answer her question.
Okay, great.
And so
the famous Stony Brook. You're now who's dropping names. Mm-hmm. See how this works.
I started out crocheting.
Yeah.
And so I'm more likely to do this with the end of my yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And I hold my yarn with these two fingers and go around, and I usually dip this hand down to meet it. And so I try not to have a lot of action going on, but my left hand bows to accept the yarn.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I know.
It's very formal.
Now, and because I like to keep this finger free for holding on to stitches that are unwieldy. Sometimes you have slippery yarns and things like that. So this finger's job is just to keep stitches from sliding off. This finger's job is to put the yarn. This finger.
You're
Evan.
Evan
says finger.
My 4-year-old will say, "Kiss my finger. My finger. It hurts."
And this hand bows to accept the yarn.
Wow.
So it's very regal.
It's like a dance.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know, it is interesting. There are just, I think everybody's got their own little variation.
Right.
They've made knitting their own, and there's so many styles.
Yeah, and don't let anybody tell you that you knit wrong. Like I've had people who tell me, "Well, you're not knitting right," and I'm like, "Well, I have a sock, and so I think I'm knitting right."
And I think it's as long as you're able to do it, you feel comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to say that I add as many different styles as I can of knitting to my repertoire, just to prevent. Isn't that what you say?
It is.
Repertory. Just so that I can keep my wrists from aggravating me, since I had many years of keyboarding.
Yes.
I try and vary it out. So there are some I'm better at than others. But
yeah.
That's it.
There you go. Well, what are you working on?
Well, Brianne had mercy on me. I had ordered some yarn for a new sock because my Patton's Croy socks were off the needles, and I hadn't had any socks on the needles for a while.
And you know what?
Yeah.
That's just sad.
I know, there are times
I feel very sorry for her.
I never used to be a sock knitter, but I was really getting lonely for my socks. Just those times when you want to sit, and I'm a fan of stockinette socks. And so Brianne let me choose from her stash.
I did.
And this is a beautiful, lovely, what would you call this? Kind of a spring, it's a little deeper than a spring green, kind of mossy color.
I think mossy is a great descriptor of that.
These change. But anyway, I love this yarn, and I'm doing just a toe-up vanilla sock. And I actually tried a different thing on the toe.
You did? What did you try?
Which I'll see if I can. My little stitch marker was just reminding me that I'm now no longer in the toe. I don't know if you can really, let's see if I can get that. If you can see that. I tried the lifted make stitch, the increase that's the lifted one, where you go to where you want to add a stitch and you pull the right leg of the stitch in the row below, pull it up onto your needle, knit it, and keep going.
And how did you find that to work for you?
Well, it worked really well, actually.
Yeah.
And what I wondered was, would it give me a more rounded toe?
Oh.
You know, because it will be, don't you think it would be hugging the stitches in tighter?
Yeah.
And it did hug the stitches tighter. I don't know that I think it's necessarily any rounder, but what I did like was that these side stitches are nice and tight.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That
showed
looks good.
Brianne, but I guess you want to see too.
No, they don't. They don't care.
Look how nice and tight these side stitches are. There's no holes, no funny spots, and you know, the toes of a sock get a lot of stress.
They do. That's for sure.
So I'm loving that. I just, you know, it was just this weekend, I think that Brianne had mercy on me. So
And
happy. Love it.
do not think that I just let her go through my stash willy-nilly and go pick something. And she'd go, "Oh, that looks pretty," and be like,
Oh, like the cashmere and knit yarn, please.
No, but you know, she was like, "Find something that you don't love as much," and I'm going,
I know, it's like you're looking at treasures, and you know, to find the one you like the least. But she was so sweet about offering that, and I felt bad, but
"No, don't feel bad."
So I'm loving it, and I love this color, and I don't think I have any socks this color, so it'll be really fun to have them.
That will be nice.
The only thing I'm finding, these are my Addi Turbo needles, and I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the humidity or what, I feel like they're kind of sticking on the needle a little bit. Do you ever have trouble with that?
Well, you're using Addi Turbo lace. I do not like Addi Turbo lace needles.
So I think I'm going to switch off my needles. It feels like they're grabbing them, and I'm having to fight the stitches off now. So I'm going to probably switch those out. I have a couple other possible choices. Could you get that?
Come in.
No idea who that is.
No. Oh, did the telephone guy already come?
I don't know. Excuse me.
We're back. And rather than try and pretend that didn't happen, because let's face it, I really can't. Mom, what else are you knitting?
Well, Brie.
It's so natural.
The news, I'll share with you very quickly.
Yeah.
The news is that our internet can't get fixed unless we want to pay big bucks and get internet like at a hotel. Something about our walls or our house makes wireless internet almost impossible.
Yeah. And sorry about the
Oh
time.
well. Oh, it's one of those podcasts.
It is. You know what? Someday we'll have a professional podcast, but do you remember, was it Sylvie?
Yes.
One of the things that she said about us
Sylvie
on our blog.
Share.
Yes.
I think it is, yeah.
She said, they are unprofessional. And we take that in a really good way.
I was so excited when I read her blog post. I sent it to the whole family.
I know.
And I go, it's the first time I've ever been so complimented that someone called me unprofessional.
It's true.
She said it in such a sweet way. It felt like a compliment, and it was.
People, if you want a smooth podcast where nothing ever goes wrong and, you know, we never make mistakes about what we say, you need to find another podcast because you will get so frustrated with you would be so frustrated by us if you were expecting perfection every time.
It's just going to be the way life is around here.
It's who we are.
It's a lot of shenanigans around here.
It sure is.
So, Sophie, hush.
Okay, so you talk about your passeggiata. I'm going to...
You going to take care of that?
I'm going to text Isaac and ask him to come get Sophie.
Good idea.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I did do a lot of knitting on my passeggiata. And I actually have set up some project pages, but I haven't finished putting any pictures in with them. But I hope to get some in this week sometime. But we have family visiting. I'm so excited.
I know.
My daughter Heather, my 1-year-old grandson Bennett, love him, and my son-in-law Spencer. They're here visiting from Virginia. And so we are going to be doing lots of fun. So this is like the first morning, and we are trying to get the podcast done so we can take care of you guys, and then we can go have fun.
Yes.
So,
don't feel rushed.
But I did a lot of knitting on my passeggiata. It's on the needles, so, and I'm partway through a row, of course. I didn't stop at a good place.
That's okay.
But you can see that the striping is happening nicely. Now,
beautiful. I like how you're going from a small stripe to a little bit bigger, to a little bit bigger, to a little bit bigger.
Yes.
I love that.
And what I found is that I'm going to start editing how I'm doing the rest of the striping.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into some thinner stripes, but I wanted to use more of my pink hand spun, so I made this stripe quite a bit larger.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think I'm ready now. I'm just starting to do the gray again, and I'm going to be. And I realized after I talked to you last week, I realized that the reason why the gray feels so fabulous too is there's cashmere in it.
Yes,
it's not like 100%, but it's enough to make you go, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I am loving how it's turning out. And you can kind of see what I meant about how there's some action going on in this pink.
Mm-hmm.
And that had I done something to it to begin with, it wouldn't have shown up. You can see some of the darker and lighter pinks and oranges and stuff. But I think in this case, it really makes it lovely. It makes the stripes so much more interesting.
Yes.
So I'm loving it. I
Yay.
did quite a bit on it. And then I just got kind of garter stitched out. And I put it aside for a while because you know, when you're getting bigger and bigger on a shawl, the bigger those stripes get, you're like, okay.
Well, and you know, I think that's where having more than one project on the needles can be a good thing. I mean, there are some people that only want to work on one thing, and they want to bust that out and be done.
Yeah.
And I need to have a little bit more variety. Here's my hands again. I need to have a little bit more variety.
Too bad you didn't learn sign language. You could have interpreted everything you've done.
Oh gosh.
Knitting?
Yeah.
I don't know the sign. Do you know any of the sign language? I think you do.
I really don't. No.
Come on. You know something.
I love you. There you go. That's about it. I don't even think that's it. I don't know.
Isn't this I love you?
Yeah. There you see. I don't even know that. That's how sad I am. I'm like Justin Bieber. Oh, jeez. Exactly.
I'm so Justin Bieber.
Oh, man. You know who's the best Justin Bieber?
Who?
Oh, shoot. Oh, he has his own talk show now.
Oh, the late night guy.
Yes. Why can't I remember his name?
Well, you know, we'll think of it, and I'll put it in a little title-y thing down here.
This is why we need the subtitles. It's just, that's just what we need to do. Well, would you like to talk about your finished objects, or would you like for me to do both?
I think I've talked enough. You go for it.
Okay. So, I have one finished object this week, and that would be my Mendocino shawl. I finished it. I'm going to put my sock over here.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Oh. Da, 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 da. I think whenever I finish a shawl, I have to do the shawl dance. Da, 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 da.
Shawl dancing.
So this is the Mendocino, and I did modify this pattern so that because apparently I just do that now with like everything. I turned it from like a...
Oh, you put a center in, didn't you?
I did. I put a center in, so it's more triangular
so it's
in
not
shape.
A crescent. Is that what it was going to be before?
Yes. And I love the colors. I'm going to get it a little bit closer so you can see the colors there. I love the way that it turned out. It's so beautiful. And here's the edging, because last week I had like 2 little things, and now it's completely done. So you can see what the edging looks like. I think it turned out so nice. I love it.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
The pattern said to use 50% of your yarn for the body of the, I was going to say sweater, it's not a sweater, of the shawl, and then the other 50% on the edging. That's a big fat lie.
What?
Yes.
How much did you need?
Since this was a part of Camp Loopy, this was project 2 for Camp Loopy, I had to use 600 yards, which would be 136 grams of yarn. So I calculated, I wanted to be very sure that I reached that goal. And so I knitted 80 grams of yarn for the garter part of the shawl. And then I figured that would mean that I would have 160 grams for the edging, or total after I did the edging between the body and the edging, I would have 160 grams. So I would not have to be nervous at all about whether I would meet my yarn requirement. I was knitting and weighing my yarn like every couple of days, and it was so close. I was getting really nervous, and I actually I finished it on Monday night at the hotel. And if you want people to look weird at you, say, do you have a scale, like a food scale in your kitchen, to the people at the front desk?
They probably just thought you were a really conscientious dieter. Hey, that's a way to look like you're really healthy, is just carry your scale around.
There
like
you
you're
go.
That careful.
Yeah. They did not have one, FYI. So anyways, I was like on pins and needles until I got home on Tuesday night. And like one of the first things I did was like go and weigh my shawl. And I used 145 grams. So it was quite a bit short of my original plan, which was to have it be 160 grams.
Okay.
But I still am higher than the 145 or 136 that I needed for it to be 600 yards. So
just
I'm
too many
happy.
Numbers in one episode.
It is a lot of numbers. But
could you start counting again? Do your multiplication tables this time.
1, 2, 3, 4. No. So I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I do, however, think that this might end up being a gift for someone. I don't know who. I don't know who yet. I have a volunteer, which is always nice to have volunteers.
That's gorgeous.
I do have another skein of yarn that's about 62 grams left in it. Is that right? I need to weigh it again. But anyways, so it's done, and I love it, and I'm excited to have it finished.
Why would you give it away? Because it's gorgeous.
I don't know. I have a lot of shawls, and I don't have a very good way of storing them because my husband and I share a very small closet, and so confession. Those like shoe organizers that hang over the back of your doors? All of my shawls are stuffed into one of those little shoe. So they get really crammed, and so
I have an idea for you.
Okay, I need an idea.
Well, I wonder, because I at one time looked at racks for different drying purposes, but they have a lot of really great drying racks. Drying racks.
Yes.
And they even have compact ones. If you look on Amazon, they have single tier and 2-tier. You could do the same thing that I'm doing with using the hangers with the clips and put them on the rack. And then we have that area where you store your yarn. They wouldn't be in the same room with you, but they'd be safe and they could be stored there and fairly small.
That's an option.
And then you could use them.
That's an option. But like right now, I feel like if I want to wear, you know, a scarf or a shawl, that I have to, well, specifically shawls, you know, because those are a little bit more airy and, you know, have lace in them, that I feel like I have to like reblock it first to really get everything to open up and to look beautiful again. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see if we can get creative, because it's just a shame to have beautiful shawls and not be able to wear them. And I know I've been the same way of like, how do I store them? And
I'll put on this right now. I want to be able to wear them and to enjoy them, and this is a good look right here.
I think you need to do one on a shoulder.
Yes. I want to be able to wear them and to enjoy them and to feel good about you know, the fact that I've knitted them. I like it when you primp me. This is good. This is, yeah. Do I need more makeup or?
You're good.
Yeah, thanks. You know, I'm proud of the things that I've knitted.
Yeah,
and so
it's gorgeous.
I want to be able to. I want to be able to wear them, and I feel like right now, I'm a little bit restricted.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Well, you know what? I bet that some of our listeners might have ideas on how they store scarves in particular. Let's just do that. Let's just keep it simple.
And keep in mind, we are in the process of trying to sell our house, so having like a big display is not probably going to work out very well. I need a discreet way of storing them that won't bunch them all up, but you know, is still pretty. Yeah. Good luck. Tell me if you find something. I want to know what you guys use. So, why don't you tell me what you finished this week, because you have a couple of bags over there.
I do. So I decided, because I was feeling a little like I was done with garter stitch for a while from my shawl, and that's the Passeggiata shawl. I had to think, what was I knitting? I decided to do some small projects. Yes. And it's always fun to have small projects besides socks too, because, you know,
absolutely.
I'm just like finicky like that. I have days when I just don't feel like doing a sock or whatever else on my needle. So it's nice to have a small something.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that I decided to do, I debated all week about finishing my mystery knit.
Yes. What did it turn out to be?
It was a rat. Got the picture, and actually it was even shown as a dead rat. Legs up. Little broom.
Oops.
Not the cute little rat. And I didn't get one rat story. Not one rat person out there spoke up for the rats to give me a happy memory, but you know who did?
Who?
Ailish.
Okay, well tell me.
Okay, I decided, I'm just be a big girl. I'm gonna finish this. It's not the end of the world. And then at least people can see what it looks like. I mean, I was like 2/3 of the way done.
Yes.
I thought. So I started working on it, and you were gone yesterday.
Monday and Tuesday.
So yesterday I pulled it out, and I thought I'm just going to work on it while the kids, they're playing outside and being Pokemon and all those things. And so I started working on it, and guess who fell in love with it?
Ailish.
Ailish did.
Yes.
Our pet person.
Yes.
And she reminded me about, and I'm going to forget all about it now, the rat movie where he's a cook.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Cute little rat. And also, The Secret of Nim.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that goes way back.
Man, that's my childhood.
I know. And so I thought it really gave me a happy feeling about finishing up the rat.
Yes.
And she liked it just when it didn't even have all of its legs and everything.
Yeah.
I just put a little pink nose on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so she asked, "Is that for me?" And I said, "Of course." And she thinks I'm wonderful, and I'm like, "Take it." But I thought, Brianne had mentioned all sorts of ideas to cutie it up, and actually I didn't get a chance to do your last idea that you had, but I'll do that after.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully before I get a picture posted. But I'm telling you, it turned out pretty cute. Want to see?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll reveal the same way we did it the first time.
Tail, yes. You
Here's
did
the
not knit
rat.
a sweater. Is that a sweater or is that a dress?
It's a sweater because I wanted her butt to come to shine.
Okay.
Do any of you know, is it ponies? What's it? The ponies?
My Little Ponies?
My Little Ponies have cutie marks, and
Yes, they
Ailish
do.
loves My Little Pony.
Yes.
So I put a cutie mark on it, and I made a sweater for her.
That is too cute.
And she's got my vintage buttons on. Here. She's got a smile. I gave her a lipstick smile.
Aww.
And I put a little light in her eyes so she can be happy. And then Ailish thought she needed a necklace.
Yes.
So Ailish strung the necklace, and we pretended it was pearls.
Oh, what is this?
She's got a bow in her hair.
Oh,
It's
that
probably
is
gotten
so cute.
Yeah, a little bow in her hair. And so anyway, we named her Miss Petunia.
That's a good name for her.
And she likes to sit, well, let's do it this way so that they can see it. She likes to sit, up like that.
That is so cute. Okay, so you totally took a pattern that you were very disappointed in, and with some imagination, you made it adorable.
Well, it's more fun now.
It is.
I mean, really, I guess I would have, if I was going to knit a rat, I'd want one maybe this long, a little teeny tiny rat. And so you could probably choose to do it on very small. It did call for worsted weight, though. But anyway, yes, there she is. I gave her a fat butt.
You are
I thought
so
that was
creative.
cute. And that's what it is. And so it goes straight to Ailish after this. Little Miss
She's gonna be
Petunia.
so happy.
And it is a nice cuddly size if you're a rat person. But my most favorite part was this. And when I do embroidered embellishment on things, I usually use fingering weight yarn for a lot of it. I had a little bit of this as some weaving boucle that I used, and some pink hand spun. This is my hand spun from my Passeggiata. And what I wanted to show was after I got knitting it, I'm going to get forward so you can really see it close together, is look how different it looks garter compared to stockinette.
Yeah.
And in the stockinette version, as I'm knitting it, I'm like, I could have made socks.
Oh, you could have.
Because you can see now the changes in the yarn. And it wasn't great for lace because there was a little too much going on. But I love it in the stockinette. So
Well, don't you have another skein of that?
yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
So I think my encouragement would be is that, well, as far as the knit goes, I mean, it's kind of like the rug. It's a
Right.
matter of if you want to invest the time to see if you can salvage something that is usable. And Ailish is thrilled.
Yeah.
And so I've got a little something for her, and she thinks I'm wonderful.
It's a win-win.
It is.
Yeah.
And I also got a chance to see how that hand spun looked in stockinette, and I decided, oh my goodness. So that probably is a good sales pointer for, not like you're buying it. I won't sell it to you.
You won't?
But here's
Okay.
a tip,
Okay.
is that I think that's why swatching is good.
For sure.
Had I swatched in both stockinette and garter, I would have gone, I'm going to pick a stockinette pattern. So if you have a yarn that you have not used before, can't look it up on Ravelry, then you probably just want to be a good girl, be a big girl, and
Yeah.
no.
Swatching is always
I'm
a smart
dropping
thing to
things.
do, no matter what you're doing. Now, I will say, on some sock things, I do not swatch because, like, if I'm doing like a vanilla sock with a yarn that I've used before, I probably won't swatch because I know what my foot measurement is, and I know, I don't
swatch for dishcloths.
Again, here we go. It's the hand. It's the hand.
Wow. We need to do the wave.
We do. Ready?
Here we go. Yeah.
We're not really coordinated at it yet, but we'll get some practice for next time.
We need to have like some cheerleader moves.
We do. We've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you? We could do. Yeah, we've got yarn.
We've got yarn.
We've got yarn.
Okay, your job is to make the pom-poms.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
All
so
right.
what else do you have that you finished?
More little projects. So I did another of my what do we call these beekeeper quilts in Grandma's. She's trying not to yawn.
I am
just
sorry.
Get it over with.
I'm sorry.
Just yawn. I'm excited.
It's been a long day yesterday.
Yeah, it takes a while to recover from those.
It does. Yeah, especially when we do driving up, doing clinic, driving back down in one day.
Just let the yawn fly.
Sorry. I will next time.
They're probably yawning.
Probably.
All right. Love my flower. It's another one to add to my stack.
That's so pretty.
It actually took place over the last couple of weeks because I just did, a couple at a time and then decided to finish up this week. But I especially love this yarn. Do you remember what this? Oh, you
That's
said
Collinet Jitterbug.
Collinet Jitterbug. I really enjoyed that one. And the color is probably a little richer than what you're seeing here, but it's beautiful. So I love it.
It really
Another one to go on the stack.
That was a great match with the green and the kind of raspberry color.
I'm just thinking I need to have some bolder ones in. There's a lot of really subtle ones, and so that was my bolder one. And then
you go, girl.
I'm going. And then on Instagram.
Yes.
Oh, I should have put who I saw it from.
Oh,
I forgot. If I can find her, I will.
Okay.
But somebody showed they were doing the Wolf Farms Claudino. Susan Claudino?
okay.
Is that her name?
Sure.
The toy designer.
Yeah.
She does probably more than toys, but she's a fabulous designer, and they're doing I think it's Susan Claudino knit along.
Okay.
And
I'll trust you with that
someone
one.
had posted this pattern. And do you like gnomes? Tell me you do.
I do.
So
The cute ones.
the cute ones. Well, I'd love a garden gnome. I just think they're quirky and fun. But I've tried a couple different patterns, and some were too fiddly. But I have found a gnome pattern I love.
She has found the one she loves.
I have.
Let me see.
Okay. So you're supposed to use Hucky.
We've got the dogs in here, like kind of in and out, and now Huck is trying to make a nest apparently on the couch.
He's settling in on the couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, how cute.
So you're supposed to use the little plastic safety eyes.
Yes.
I didn't have any, so I just wanted to use what I had, and these are all things I had. Actually, I take it back. I bought these 2 yarns because I wanted to make some for Christmas, but she doesn't show them just for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a vintage button from my collection, and I just did a little face. They just show them with 2 little safety eyes. I have some coming, so the next batch I knit, I'll show you that. But look, and then I did some embroidery because I wanted to make his hat fancy.
It.
I think I'm going to try a polka dot hat on the next one. Try and
that'd be
do
fun.
some color work.
That'd be really fun.
And then I made this part on the top is not part of the pattern, but I did that. And I just wanted to tell you in case you like it. She ties a ribbon. I just didn't have a ribbon that I thought looked nice with it. But what I did was you take yarn in the color you want to make your holder, and I did 2 loops of yarn that I used a needle to go through the fabric, around, through the fabric, around. The 2 loops are the same size. Then I took, then when I pulled it out the other side, I took the needle off and then used the tail of yarn that I had been sewing with, and I used a crochet hook and a small gauge, and I just did single crochets around the loops and came back here and took the crochet hook off and slipped the needle through the last loop and secured it. I think it makes a darling holder.
That's so cute.
And I could have done it in the contrast, but I just want to do it like this.
I like it without the contrast.
Do you?
I do.
Okay. So I love it, and what I love about it is it's the kind of pattern that now that I've done it, I think it'd be very easy to memorize.
Yes.
And you could do it as a TV knitting or a take-along project. It was one evening.
It doesn't look overly fiddly. I mean, obviously you did the embroidery, but the knitting itself doesn't look like it would be annoying in any way.
No, and I actually added a purl edge here because I wanted a little definition for his hat. That's not embroidery, I just did a purl edge there, where on the stockinette field, just 1 row of purl.
That's a great
so on
idea.
the pattern, it's just plain stockinette, and they used all sorts of fun, like variegated yarns.
Oh, fun!
And did it in different colors. I just chose Christmas, so
I
thought this would be a really fun teacher gift, or a little something to put on a package, or
you could. The podcast, Just One More Row. They're an audio podcast with Dana and Brittany. Let's see, Dana is working on Christmas ornaments, and they're doing like a Christmas in July kind of thing. And so if you wanted to do more of them, you could totally,
it would go along with
it would go along with their knit along.
Yeah, good idea. So I love these, and I think done with different yarn, they wouldn't have to be for Christmas. I could see it just being cute to hang on a little knob somewhere.
Yeah.
Or, to put on, I'm sorry, you could put it on your bag. It'd be cute. If it matched, it'd be cute to hang on something.
Yeah.
Don't do earrings, though. That's a little much.
I'm totally going to do that now.
But I love it. So, quick knit.
Yes.
And it's something that delighted my heart. What can I say?
Wonderful. I'm so glad.
I have one more.
Oh, okay.
I know. Prolific Small Knits, right?
Right, exactly.
Bluebird of Happiness.
Yes.
Last week I did it out of yellow handspun.
Yes.
I wanted to see what it looked like in blue.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, so I did. Once again, I was on the embroideries thing this week. I don't know what the deal is with that.
I'm impressed.
I like it. Honestly, I like it better in just a plain yarn than I did on the handspun.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. And this is one you could certainly. I did put the scent in it.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask about that.
Mm-hmm. This one was one I had used a lot, so it doesn't smell very much.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it would be this one. I could imagine tucking in a bag or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's adorable.
So
I loved
cute.
it. Highly recommend it.
Very nice. What about spinning? Do you have spinning?
Left it downstairs.
Okay.
Stink.
Well, would you like to talk about it, or would you like to wait until next week?
I'd like to go get it.
Okay.
I mean, we've already paused once.
Okay. We'll have. So, hold on.
Yes.
So, Mom just came back with her spinning. Just in case you need to edit. Mom just came back with her spinning.
Surprise!
Yay! And let's see it.
Okay, this is the Colombian wool. That is from Tammy at Eternity Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished it late last night, actually.
Yeah.
I did a 3-ply.
Oh.
Do you remember those gorgeous, really rich colors?
Yes.
Now, what I will do, I'll probably put a picture in when I have a chance to skein it and block it and everything.
You need to let it. I'm not a spinner, but do you need to let it rest now?
No, I just didn't have time to get it off before we came to episode.
Okay. All right.
But I thought on this you can actually see some of the color progressions, and I think when it actually gets reskeined, it's going to be gorgeous.
It's probably going to look a lot different once it's in a skein than when it's on the bobbin.
But what I wanted to show was what I did on this one. I took the long braid of roving.
Yes.
And I split it into enough for 3 bobbins, long ways.
Mm-hmm.
So they were all the same repeats.
Mm-hmm.
And I started them all the same and spun them up. But it was amazing that even though I had taken 3 parallel strips of roving, you see how much overlap there is, because it has to do with, it wasn't an exact stripe roving, and also because you get little bits of thicker and thinner, and so you get some overlap.
Sure.
So you have beginning and ending with more solid, and then you have some in-between stuff. But I think it's going to be beautiful done up, and she thinks it's going to be, Tammy said she thinks it will soften up too when it's washed. So I really wanted to show you because I thought it was really beautiful, and it's done some interesting color transitions there.
I don't remember these colors.
That's not part of it. I should say that.
Okay, because I was going to say I remembered it really more as like cranberry and purples and
thank
colors
you for
like
reminding
that.
me.
You're welcome.
I had some bits and bobs left on a bobbin and decided to Navajo ply those at the end and just get my bobbin clean. So that's just bobbin cleaning. Stop looking at that.
I'm sorry. Don't
Anyway.
watch. You know what? You do your bobbin cleaning in the privacy of your own home. Okay. We don't want to see you cleaning your bobbins places.
I choose to do it in public, apparently.
All right.
So anyway, love the colors. I think it's gorgeous, and I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I will put a picture of it probably end of next episode when I have it all reskeined for you to see beautiful. But I thought it was lovely.
Pretty.
Yeah, this makes no sense over here. I was omitting it. I was omitting it from my field of vision. I have my own editing thing happening.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's it.
Well, gilding the lily. I did no gilding of the lily this week. Can you believe that?
I can actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a beautiful skein from Dyed by Julia.
Ooh.
And this says the Yarn Loft, beautiful hand-dyed yarn.
Mm-hmm.
She has an Etsy shop, Dyed by Julia.
Oh.
And the colorway is called Hibiscus.
That is so pretty.
It's a superwash merino and nylon blend.
Beautiful.
And do you know what I thought of when I saw this?
What?
I thought, what a happy summer scarf.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say summer scarf.
I have nothing in these bright colors.
What about like your broomstick lace?
maybe broomstick lace.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's going to be something lovely, but I thought I want to have more summery scarves, and this is fingering weight, and I'll do something open and
beautiful.
Fabulous. Anyway,
love it.
Have you purchased yarn from
Never.
her before?
Yeah.
It came and was, she has a lot of really pretty colorways. It looks like she does not reskein her, so you're seeing it looks like as she dyed it.
Right.
But I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes. Last one, I promise. This is my custom order bag from Chicken Soup Designs.
This is the one that you were talking about last week, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let me
do you want some help?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, you take this one.
Okay.
This was my original
I
one.
will happily take this one.
And I said it was an opposite, but it's not an opposite print. It's really just like a companion print. But you can see how lovely the inside is. I don't know if I showed that before.
I don't think we did. And these are from Chicken Soup Designs.
Chicken Soup
I don't know if we said that
Designs.
before.
But I asked if I could have one to my custom dimensions. I wanted it for a shawl. And so let's
Here.
show side by side. So you can see it's quite a bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
The height is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't feel like I needed additional height, but the width is quite a bit more.
It is.
And so I wanted it for shawl projects where you have multiple skeins of big yarns.
That's a great idea.
And you can see here is my Passaggiata shawl.
Mm-hmm.
And there are plenty of room. And then a beautiful orange. It looks like a orange skin.
Oh,
Here,
yeah.
it's a little dotted fabric. It's beautiful.
Citrusy, fun
It's
citrusy
very
colors.
citrusy. So happy.
Yeah.
So it's a similar print, but it is not the same.
Right.
That's all right. I didn't want it to be the same.
It's in the same family
Mm-hmm.
of prints, but it's just, a different color.
I noticed on this one she did a cute little tie for me.
That is
Isn't that
cute.
nice?
Mm-hmm.
So this one is accomplishing what I'd hoped to accomplish, is that when I'm doing a bigger shawl, that I don't have to munch it into a big ball to get it
It's
in.
a good idea. Yeah.
So I love it. Good job.
Yay! Well, we're on to... Oh, here. That's yours.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Don't want to take her stuff. Well, I do, but I won't take it, on the podcast where there's evidence.
Good plan.
I'll just take it in private. So for our It's a Good Thing for this week, we have one. Now, we have a bunch of family coming into town, and you know what that means. That means there's going to be all kinds of cooking and baking going on, and I'm going to be a part of that.
Yes, we decided that this year we're going to have each smaller family unit take a night for cooking, because we're such a big group now. We're like over 20-something.
It's almost 30.
And so it's too hard to get into a restaurant and find a place where we can all talk together.
Let's be honest, okay? It is expensive to eat out
Oh my goodness,
for 10 days in a row. I mean, we can't do that.
No.
However, what we decided to do was to have each family unit, take a night, and we're going to be celebrating birthdays.
3 birthdays.
3 birthdays in our little family,
Yeah.
because Heather, who is my sister, her daughter, is turning the big 3-0, and her son Bennett recently turned 1 year old. And then Isaac is turning 15. So we've got a lot of big birthdays going on here. And so we're going to be having a birthday party for them on Sunday. So I have a cake ordered, and we're going to be getting ice cream and things to, celebrate. And I'm going to be making the most amazing dessert.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's salted caramel bars. And I've made them probably 3 or 4 times. It's a recipe I found on Pinterest. And you know how this is, okay? You find a recipe on Pinterest, and it's one of 2 things. Either it is the best thing that you have ever eaten in your life, and you cannot handle living life without it anymore, or it is the most disgusting thing you have ever tried, and you wish that you could, go back in time and erase it from your memory.
Whoa, that's bad.
Yeah, it's serious, people. So anyways, this was one that turned out amazingly.
Yeah.
It was so good. And so we want to share it with you.
Yes, and tell your salted caramel bars.
Yes.
And the base is...
It's kind of like a shortbread kind of base.
Shortbread cookie kind of.
Right. So you bake
Caramely
that.
deliciousness.
Yes. and you add, just a little bit of salt and a little bit of whipping cream to it, so to make it a little bit more smooth. And then you kind of crumble more shortbread on top and bake it.
And salt and caramel.
It just made my mouth water.
Yeah, the sweet and the salty is fabulous together. If you've never tried any, I think Starbucks has a salted caramel drink during certain times of the year, don't they?
Yeah, like in the fall and winter. Yeah.
Yeah, so great.
Anyways, we are going to be putting that on our blog. So if you have not been on our blog before, then you need to find out where it is, and I'll tell you. It is at www.knitworthypodcast.com. And go there. It will be toward the bottom of the show notes. I will either put a link to it, or I'll just go ahead and type it out. I'm not quite sure which one I'll do yet. But anyways, we want to share it with you because it is so good, and you need to make it, and you need to eat it, and then you need to come back and tell me how much you loved it.
It's pretty
so
dangerous.
I can live it again vicariously through you.
Yes. I don't have any good things. I had a lot of good things, but I didn't have internet to be able to make them easily accessible.
No, I mean...
So we decided to go with a delicious recipe.
We did. And, it's kind of nice to mix it up a little bit.
It is. I think it's fun. And let's see, we're going to, after we say goodbye, we are going to be taking you this time in our postcards to the Ozarks. I'm not remembering.
Postcards from the Ozarks?
From the Ozarks. Attention span already is gone.
Squirrel.
We're taking you to a very unique experience, and whether you are a person of faith or not, I think it's interesting to see how other people practice their faith.
Absolutely.
And so this Sunday, I got pictures from my future daughter-in-law. She goes to a church that I think has 30 people. I think that's what I heard.
Yes.
And it's a little church in Bradleyville, Missouri. And wonderful people. They act like family to one another and have known each other forever. And one of their people who attend, Zoe, was going to get baptized. And in her church, baptism is a sign of commitment to Christ. And you symbolize the new life that you're going to have following after Christ by being baptized, which is being submerged in water. I know different churches have different ways of doing things, but what I'm showing you is how it's done in little churches in the Ozarks. And we have many different faiths represented here too. But I got some great pictures, and they do it in a creek.
Yes.
So charming.
Yeah. Not now in the church that I got baptized in, it was basically like, like a jacuzzi kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like nice hot water. You're not going to get that in a creek.
No. And she told me that all of her family members, including grandma and I think great grandma, she said, have been baptized in that same little creek.
Neat. That is really cool.
Yes. So you're going to get a little snapshot into a very private ceremony, but something that's very special to the people involved, and they're all very happy to celebrate. And
that's really cool.
Something that they hold very sacred. And so whether or not you believe the same, I think it's interesting to learn more about other people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoy
this
little snapshot into the country church in Bradleyville, Missouri.
Yes. Well, that's it for us this week, and we are so glad that you're here.
Yes.
If this is your first time coming,
thanks.
It's a kind of an interesting episode because there's going to be some editing out of things.
But it feels a bit disjointed, people.
It does.
We're sorry about that.
Hopefully with editing, it'll the magic will happen. It'll all be smooth and beautiful and wonderful and everything. And if you're returning, we just want to say thank you so much for coming. We're so glad that you choose to spend some of your time with us each week.
It means a lot.
It really does. Yeah. It really does. And we feel like, you are our friends and that you're here knitting with us and a part of our lives. So until next time, we just want to remind you that you are knitworthy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9.